All right. Hello, everyone. This is our category analysis project for global supply chain management at West Virginia University. I'm Marcus Gullidge, and I'm a general business major.
I'm Matthew Peters. I'm a general business major.
I'm Trent Yerger. I'm a global supply chain management major.
I'm Haley Chamberlain, and I'm also a general business major.
So the problem we're proposing to you today is overall just reducing WVU's drastic costs in events. WVU has countless events, and I'm not saying like we need events, but there's a lot of ways that we can reduce the cost of events, and we're going to go over that.
All right, so we put everything in a table here for you to see our total spend, our total suppliers, and the outlook over that. As you can see, we split them up into 4 categories: entertainment services, non-sourceable spend, rentals, and performing arts. Here you can see this is the total number of event suppliers. We have 1,331 total suppliers for events only. And as you can see, our rentals is a majority of that, which comes from renting out buildings and venues and other such things as that. Right behind it is entertainment. And as you can see, performing arts and non-sourceable are less, about 1.5% of the total event suppliers. Here you can see a better picture of the total spend. As you can see, rentals is still a large majority of our total spend. As I told you before, it mainly comes from renting out venues and other spaces for our events. You can see that non-sourceable spend is actually much higher than the percentage is much higher than our total suppliers, just because when we for that section, it usually comes out to a high dollar spend.
So right here, we're showing on this scatter plot how horizontally integrated this specific part of the supply chain is. Ideally, we would like to flatten the curve of our vendors because we have too many vendors that we're spending small amounts with. And we think that by standardizing how we work with the event suppliers, we can save money, and that will open up the door for negotiation possibilities, which could really drive down our event costs by agreeing with vendors to be our exclusive WVU events vendor, which would also open up marketing possibilities such as Vistaprint being our official printing vendor for all WVU events. Also, we would like to use more WVU facilities for all of these events. That would cut down on the rental cost, which is the biggest cost on all of the events. And also, better event attendance forecasting will cut down on things like catering costs. For example, if your event is going to have less people, you can go with a more expensive caterer. Whereas if your event is going to have more people, maybe use a caterer that can get you more food, you can cut better deals with, and it's less expensive in the long run.
By limiting the number of suppliers used for events, whether they are suppliers of goods or services, overall, that will help lower the cost of events in the long run. Some advantages to working with the same select group of suppliers over time is as you work with the same supplier over and over again, you're going to become a better understanding of each other's needs, and that's going to make the entire supply chain run more smoothly and cohesively. Frequently using the same, also by using the same supplier, that supplier is going to be more willing to give you better prices than someone who they just started working with recently. Suppliers want to keep their long-term customers, so they're going to be more likely to participate in competitive bidding against each other. If you pose a bid for a catering event of 500 people to all your food suppliers, they're all going to come in to try and give you the best price, and you're going to be able to end up paying less than you would have if you went to a random supplier. There's no set number that is the correct amount of suppliers. And for some industries like food service, you're going to have a lot more possible suppliers, so you can have a bigger group to choose from. But in rentals and everything like that, you're going to have less possible suppliers. And the more you can cut that down, the better. It's crucial to select suppliers based on knowing that you could use them again and again in the future. You don't want to select a supplier just for one specific event unless you absolutely have to. According to the data that we collected, Walmart and Kroger are crucial suppliers for supplying goods for all WVU events, and I think that we should make permanent contracts with them to make them the permanent goods supplier for all WVU events. That way, it's going to be cheaper in the long run, and we always know where our supplies are coming from. Like Walmart and Kroger, Sodexo is huge in food and catering. Behind Sodexo, there isn't a real clear leader as to what companies we have the most spend with, but we believe that pairing with franchise restaurant chains would be most beneficial because it's going to be the same every time, and they're going to be the most willing to give you cheaper prices.
All right, so reducing the number of events is important because usually WVU has multiple events in a day, and like that could seem like it's good because it could help students be involved, but sometimes it's costly and not quite worth it. As a student at WVU, I have attended events that were definitely not worth the amount the school paid for these events, and this is just like not quality-wise, just because the attendance has been so low and there's plenty of leftover supplies that the school had to pay for. And then some events that are catered end up with like copious amounts of extra food, and that's just a waste of food and money. So this is bad for the school's finances, and it's not very environmentally friendly either. So when the number of events is decreased, we can also save the university money and other aspects of their spending as well, like marketing, facilities and janitorial services, supplies, and their dining services.
All right, so we've told you, so far we've told you what we needed to do. Now the real question is how we can do that. And we believe through the Oracle Cloud procurement application that we can better streamline our event sourcing and planning our event processes. What was it? It helps you streamline, automate, and improve your procurement process outcomes. It is also an intuitive user experience embedded in analytics and collaboration and simplify the supplier management and contracting. And it also can reduce your risk, increase cost savings, and enforce compliance spending among your suppliers. Beyond just the procurement application, the Oracle Cloud offers many different services and applications like sales, security, marketing, and customer service.
So in summary, WVU needs to streamline their event supply chain. We need to reduce the number of suppliers. It's going to make everything run more smoothly. It's going to reduce costs. We also need to reduce the amount of wasteful events. So by cutting back on events that having the same event over and over again, you're going to get more attendance if you have it one time, or if we do something to plan out, the attendance of the event. Negotiations would open up new ways to cut costs for university events. Cutting costs would benefit the university in other areas, as Haley discussed, and using applications such as the Oracle Cloud would be a possible solution.